So your family's been in this town, you grew up in this town.
My family on my mom's side came into town in 1790. My dad's side came in the late 50s, and they had different various businesses locally. And we've just always been kind of in town. I went to Nordoff, I went to Toha, Miramani Elementary, and my daughter went to Miramani. So it's kind of keeping it in the family, keeping it going for generations.
So Annelore, in this election, what affects you most?
I suppose it would be water issues. That would be a huge deal for me. That, along with transportation and housing, it's a huge deal. It's really tight now with a lot of the families being pushed out.
Pushed out. What do you mean by that?
I feel like it's been more geared towards the tourist economy, and we've always been a tourist town, but we've managed to marry that with a family-friendly area. I've worked at local restaurants. I worked at Colley's for 6 years, and I worked at Ojai Pizza. You know, I've been a local here and been in the local economy, and it wasn't up until about 8 years ago that I wasn't allowed to live here because of financial restrictions. Housing got insanely expensive, and as a mother, at that point in time, a single mother, I couldn't afford to even rent a room. But I did end up leaving Ojai 8 years ago, and Ventura was the closest that I could find that I could afford. It's not the safest neighborhood. It's not quite like Ojai, where you can walk down the street and be able to take your dog for a walk at night. I would like to live here for as long as we can. I have 2 children, and I'd like to raise them here. And I'm seeing a lot of change with Johnny's input, with his listening to his constituents in town. He's really a people person, and I've seen him on the street. I know that he doesn't necessarily know me, but we've had a couple of chats, and it's been really enlightening when I do talk to him.
So why do you trust him?
Well, I know that he's an advocate for the local ecology. The first time I heard of Johnny was hearing about a gentleman who walked down Creek Road pretty much every day picking up trash. And I thought that was pretty awesome and kind of kooky. And I was like, that's so Ojai and it's amazing. So, I had driven by one time and I was like, he's right there. And I thought that was awesome that he's part of the community. And I did hear one story that really hit home, with my husband being a local cyclist, and he actually works at Bicycles of Ojai. There was a kid who had gotten hit by a car when he was on his bike. It was a little too small for him. And I had heard that Johnny had something to do with getting him a new bike. And it was, one of those heartwarming stories that's like, it's a huge deal and you want to be able to help somebody. And sometimes medical bills are already covered, but you still want to give back and help somebody that's in your community. And the fact that he went that extra step and helped him out, it was awesome. So I like that he's a family man. He's a definitely businessman and smart, and that's wonderful. And him being around and available pretty much to anybody in the community, that makes him super trustworthy to me. It really makes the communication lines open and really feels like I'm being heard when I talk to him.